What are you supposed to say next? Grammar. Okay.
All right. Well,
Just try your own thing.
Yeah,
Give
yeah.
your own spin, that's fine.
hi there. This is 10 for the Designers. I'm Calix Reneau,
And I'm Matt Sherman.
and we're going to be taking some of the questions from our subscribers and try to answer them and see if that is a thing that happens. So we'll start with Drucifer, who asks if our upcoming physically based damage will take into account the angle of impact and how.
Yeah. So it's absolutely something that we're looking to see if we can get built into the system. It does bring a few challenges because a lot of games that really leverage angle of impact, in Drucifer's question itself, it even mentions, like World of Tanks and War Thunder, because they don't have as many guns at play at once, they can absolutely do that extra calculation. But when some of our ships could have 6, 8, 50 odd guns on of angle, it becomes a little bit more taxing to always do angle of impact. But it's absolutely something that we're exploring with the physically based damage system because
Are there only 50 guns on the Bengal? That sounds low. But
Well,
like, if we do this though, like it's certainly something we're looking into. But if we did it, one of the things that it would do is we have a concept of the armor. Armor itself has health in addition to your hull having health.
Yep.
So as you hit something, if you got just a glancing blow, it would degrade the armor and wear away at that, so that future impacts would still have more of an effect. So you would never have a projectile have zero effect on the world around you. It will always leave some impact either on the health of the shields, the health of the armor, or the health of the hull. If you have 100 years to do so, you could probably shoot through a Bengal with your Aurora. But if the Bengal ever notices,
it will cough softly in your direction and you'll explode.
that'll just be the end of that.
Yes.
No.
All right. So, Abyssal Dragon asks, could we make an armored jacket adapter that would provide extra protection for a gun or add, say, a small shield generator onto a weapon mount?
So we recently did a pretty full pass on our weapon mounts and weapons and components in general. But for the big guiding philosophy for that was that these exact sort of behaviors would all be dictated by the mounts that are available. So we are able to make highly specialized mounts with a shield, mounts with your AI or your coolant unit or whatever attached to it. Or like we've mentioned previously, like the twin link mounts. Things like that would be entirely dictated by the mounts that you have available. So we can make those things pretty specifically, and we do intend to. We're only beginning to try those things out. We started actually making them, and we should be able to introduce them pretty soon if they turn out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, we've even just set up where not just gimbal mounts even, but we want to make sure that fixed mounts get to take advantage of this kind of cool functionality and pretty much any of the mounts on a ship. So like armored sleeves specifically is something that we had been talking about for fixed weapons because, give you the choice of taking a similar sizing loss, but now, hey, that component's going to be really durable, and if it's your main gun on a ship, that could be worth the cost.
Yeah, generally the rule of anything that's special about the mount costs a size. That's just the guiding principle. We make decisions on a case-by-case basis with this, but that would probably apply here.
Yep.
Sigurd Olafsson asks, will we be able to modify our ships to be more along the lines of the roles introduced by the Tracker, Ghost, and Gladiator type ships? As far as being able to turn them directly into those, there is probably going to be some limited functionality for that, but we are looking into going back to our previously released ship series and look at how we can make them sort of better bridge the gap between the ships that we have, the ships that we're building, the ships that we have spec'd out down in the future. Really the biggest issue is finding a way to enrich that stable of ships without muddying the waters of like why have this ship if this ship could do it just as well?
Yeah. And I mean, it's something that we're even seeing just, sort of with the Reliant sail, because it's our third light hauler ship, along with the Aurora CL and the Hull A. And so making sure that whatever we introduce and offer to you guys still feels distinct and appropriate for both that class of ship and what that role really is and actually entails gameplay-wise.
Yeah, everything needs to have a character. And we can put in some more flexibility into that, and we're looking to do so. But that character of our ships is paramount.
So Scurry Panda, I can't help but think he means scary, asks...
He's scared.
Yeah.
Not
Can we
as
expect any big changes to the current small ship flight model in the near future to bring it more into line with the original simulation vision, or is it almost complete as far as we're concerned?
I would say that it is decently representative of gameplay that we want. I would not say that it represents the whole game. One of the big things about this is that we only have our small ships in.
Yeah.
And these ships have a ton of maneuverability. They're super responsive.
Great acceleration, tons of a lot better loadout balance compared to as you get bigger in ships.
Yeah, and what I would expect is that the sort of World War II vision is mostly for, or is best characterized by the medium-sized multicrew ships, the Constellation, all the way up to the Retaliator. These ships that they're not going to be able to turn on a dime the way that a M50 or a Hornet can. They're not built around the maneuverability as much. It's probably going to, and that continues to be the case as we scale up further, to the point where a battle between capital ships is nothing like a battle between like the small class ships or even the medium, and I think that's pretty important actually. Like if you had the World War II feeling in our small ships and we were to apply that same approach, then it would quickly become untenable, and maybe there are other approaches to take, but I think that this one is really going to give us the best mix of gameplay styles. Like if what you really were into is you want that submarine battle, you're probably doing capital ship action.
Yeah, I mean it's just one of the many parts that as we get all these extra systems, especially once we've gotten multi-crew out there, we're really going to be able to start growing this range of gameplay choices, because right now we've all got speedboats, and some of us are going to want the more plotting boats to try and do a broadside attack on someone's. Everyone's going to want different things from the game, and so there's absolutely going to be different flight handling and characteristics to support that. And I mean, even into some of the smaller ships, like there's going to be differences between who's the quick small ship and who's the more sluggish small ship, but they're also going to probably be faster than like a Constellation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Joel Evans asks, with everything going to a math-based system like the damage modeling and thruster input, can we expect the same when it comes to ore and fuel as far as volumetric handling?
Yeah, that's the basic notion. We're going to have all the mass that you bring into your ship is going to affect your center of mass, even further than fuel and ore and all the cargo stuff that you'll have, because your ballistics and your ballistic ammo, all of this stuff adds up to affect your flight performance, your missiles, and you will not be flying the same at the end of a battle as you are at the beginning. IFCS does a lot to try to make up for that, so it doesn't just become an instant slugfest, which doesn't mean everyone becomes slugs.
Yeah.
English, but the basic notion is that there would be really poor handling, because even without IFCS compensating for it, Fairly slight changes in center of mass have had pretty big effects on handling. It's very noticeable anytime our center of mass is wrong.
Yeah.
As you've probably actually experienced, I believe that happened to the Mustang and the 300 series.
Yeah.
And we definitely heard about that. So yeah, it will be taken into account, and we will be providing tools to overcome it. And as you take damage or make silly choices, because I'm always in favor of accommodating the silly choice.
Yeah.
That will inhibit your ability to do things. The Geki asks, regarding the new shield system, mainly concerning the Retaliator, will the Retaliator really only have Class 3 Aurora shields, or do bigger ships work differently?
So the Retaliator will have bigger shields.
Huzzah!
Yes. What they are, that's still being worked out, and that's something we won't really be able to iron out until we get that ship closer to flyable, which means we need multicrew in first. But it's definitely going to have shields and armor appropriate for a frontline bomber ship. So I mean, it was advertised as that role, so we don't want to hamstring it that much.
Yeah.
Now, one thing it may also have though is a little bit more armor on it versus max shields. But again, we can't say for sure until it's flyable, but it'll be bigger than a size 3 like an Aurora has.
We always tune towards our initial intent. Of where does this fit in the verse? And part of the complicating aspect here is that we are going through and we're unifying all of our systems. We've done a lot of work to build up what our different stats are, how things should affect the different performance and behaviors of our ships. And now, with that context, we're going, okay, how do we make all these unique objects not quite so unique so that we can really, we can compare things more effectively.
Yeah.
So that's coming along really well, and hopefully we'll be able to clear that up really soon.
Yeah. That's going to be a nice change once we get it all set up.
Arkalele, I like that name. Arkalele asks, DJ Pete talked about modeling ships in the calculator. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh yeah. So Pete does some amazing work, and one of the biggest things that he's been working on is this aforementioned calculator. That it just lets us set up ships so much faster. It was instrumental in why we were able to get the Reliant out so early on Friday, the week of its sale, is because the tools that he's building for us, it works with John's physics info, and we give it the numbers that we have for, it's like, okay, the ship's this big, we're looking at this much weight, and now we quickly crunch, okay, there's the thrusters it needs, this is the kind of power we're going to be looking at. And so it's just this great, one-stop shop to let us start planning out the actual technical, data-driven side of these ships, which is a huge win for us.
It's also kind of nice to be able to try stuff out in the numbers, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, what happens if this is 300 times that number?
Yep.
Or, which, these ships, I tell you,
Yeah.
it was taking on the cargo of the whole series. That was a big element in bringing on the calculator.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to get a little bit of the guesswork out of there and have the numbers line up.
Yeah, and for the modder part of this question, I don't know if the exact calculator will ever be released, but a lot of the data that it's going to be working off, we absolutely want to be able to get in front of you guys, because one of the old stretch goals for the Jane style manuals, this is going to be a lot of that data that's going to inform those manuals, and so we don't want it to be a hidden, unknown aspect to you guys that you have to theory craft yourselves. We want you to be able to see what we're seeing when we spec these things out.
The Reliant came out not because we got better at this, but because we had a calculator.
Okay, that was actually a huge part of it.
No, I know.
Send him the equipment. It's
I know.
we've got this surface area. All right, But then we got every flyable ship surface area now. And now we all have the new health.
New health.
Yay! Yeah. No gun can kill a ship before it overheats anymore with the new health changes. But that also doesn't have new weapons. All right. So, Milzo asks, I'm just curious about the limits of the various seat roles. A particular example is the use of gimbaled or unmanned turrets while being operated by the co-pilot, while the pilot focuses on maneuvering or lining up fixed weapons. Or
We are planning on, it won't be in for the very first one because there's a lot of interface issues to work out of like, well, who has control of the interface at any given time and divvying it all up. But ultimately, you will be able to assign different weapon groups to different seats, different ship systems even. You'll be able to sort of like cobble together your perfect workstation. There will be probably restrictions to that, such that the engineering station is probably tailored towards engineering, no matter how much you plug weapons into it. But broadly, you should be able to do most anything that you wanted. And for the first one, you will be able to, as a pilot, you'll have control of your guns, and if you get a co-pilot, they will take control of your turrets. And down the road, you'll be able to mix and match those things pretty much however you want.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely part of the long-term plan for things, but it's going to be a big addition more once multi-crews rolled out and we really get to start tuning that extra gameplay.
Yar.
Yeah, indeed.
Dex asks, will it be possible to forego offensive capabilities entirely in lieu of greater defense? And if so, what defensive options can be attached to gun or turret mounts?
So active defense mounts is actually a really cool idea and something that we haven't really been speccing out that much, but we absolutely have started looking into more utility mounts. So the Reliant's another example of this with the research variant, the news van, and the base hauler all having turret-mounted utility gear. So having the non-combat stuff to mount on your ship, absolutely. Active defense stuff, that could...
Yeah, we've sort of talked about a little bit of it. Example might be in the Shield post some time ago, we went over much more active Shield roles, like directing a unified face or some such thing, which could be a active... anything that you plug into a gun mount, we're generally going to want that to be an active part of your ship. It's not. We don't want those hard points to turn into just passive things where you swap out all of your guns and just have shields, and now you have nothing to do when you get shot at. We always want to have something ingrained in that item that allows you to be proactive in improving your odds.
Yeah.
But this, it's a really cool idea, and I'd like to explore that further.
Yep. All right. And then, last up for this week, Vicarian asks, will players be able to mix and match different armor pieces, or will they simply come as one item? So armor for ships is still something that we're getting the exact details worked out for the physically based damage update, and we're actually exploring both of these options right now to see what's going to be the best option. We're going to try and make it something that you can have be more region specific to your ship, so if you want to really armor up the nose or armor up the belly of your ship if you're flying a bomber, we want that to be there. It'll just be how much can we get worked out, and while still keeping that damage calculation efficient when there's 50 guns, 60 guns, however much in an instance of combat, and everyone's just shooting at each other like crazy.
The long-standing notion has been that there's basically two kinds of armor. There's the armor that is intrinsic to your hull, because ultimately that's what your hull is. It's armor wrapped around your ship, because it's certainly not doing anything else. That's what it is there for the health of your ship. If you swap out your armor item, you are basically getting the internal structure refitted or the reinforced in the internal workings. Then there is also an additive armor, which we haven't gone quite as far with in terms of our implementing it. We've been focusing on the interior stuff first. But the additive armor is always going to be much more specialized. It's like this armor is specifically, for against explosive rounds, or this armor is specifically against energy weapons, and will be visibly so.
Something else that we was sort of exploring yesterday, the idea where you have an armor where it's a really high value of armor, but as you take fire, the rate that decays is much faster than normal. So that, for especially like the Vanguard, which is the example we were using when we were thinking of this, is you have that great armor on your first pass. If you have to turn around for a second pass, there may be problems there.
Yeah. So we can tune towards attrition or
or longevity.
One pass engagements, and armor is coming along quite nicely.
Yeah.
And so it'll be cool to get that whole system just pushed out.
It's going to be a great update when we get it all set.
And I believe that is all 10 questions.
Yep.
And thank you for joining us. Thank you, subscribers, for supporting us and letting us do this and be as active with the community as we can be. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks again, and see you guys next week.
Hey guys, thanks for watching 10 for the Chairman. If you guys would like to see more episodes, go here. If you guys would like to subscribe to our YouTube channel and always keep up to date with all our video content, go here. And if you guys would like to watch episodes of Around the Verse, go here please. And I will see you in the verse.